bang, 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 bang.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Check. You know what it is, man. It's your boy Super Blaze checking in. It's the Autonomous Party podcast mix show. In a little R&B vibe tonight. You know what it is, man. You know what I mean? Gotta stay with the times, you know?
I can't think about nothing else since you laced me with your love. It ain't no secret, girl. Your body fits me like a glove.
Shout out to the Autonomous Party, you know what I mean? We got the ladies tonight, you know what I mean? For sure. Just tap in, man. Go ahead and share, like, subscribe. We got the ladies tapping in tonight, you know what I mean? The ladies panel tonight, the women's panel. It's going to be very interesting, you know what I mean? So just stay tuned, keep it locked right here. This is the Autonomous Party podcast. Make sure your boy Super Blaze inside the campaign mix. Let's do it.
Treasure wrapped around me, oh so tightly. I wanna hear you shout. So come on, baby, let me break you off. I guarantee I'll turn you out. Would you like it if I was to sex you down? Baby girl, stop for me, you know you want me just like I want you. Never had a lover that would do the things that Johnny can do. It's your body all over my body. It's your body. My body all over your body. It's your body, baby. It's your body, baby. My body all over your body. Should it feel so good? Should it feel so nice? My body all over your body. It's your body. Oh, it's your body, baby.
Let's go.
I don't know what it is that you've done to me, but it's caused me to act in such a crazy way. Whatever it is that you do when you do what you're doing, it's a feeling that I want to stay. 'Cause my heart starts beating triple time with thoughts of loving you on my mind. I can't figure out just what to do when the calling here is you. I get so weak in the knee, I can hardly speak. I lose all control, then something takes over me. In a day, it looks so amazing. It's not a face, just stay with me, stay by my side. I swallow my pride. Your love is so sweet, it knocks me right off of my feet. And it's been more your love than me.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's
Be
go.
my sweet
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
lady. Oh, baby. Sweet lady, would you be my sweet love for a lifetime? I'll be there when you need me. Just call and receive me. Sweet lady, sweet love. Now any other day I would play it cool, but I can't now, 'cause I want you. See, I'm hooked on how you flex your style, and I wanna talk for a little while. I never really seen your type, but I must admit that I kinda like. So maybe if you have the time, we can talk about you being mine. Would you be my sweet love for a lifetime? I'll be there. Just call and receive me. Would you be my sweet love for a lifetime? Oh, yeah. When you need me, just call me, baby. Now on the regular, I won't waste time, but I don't want to, 'cause you're so damn fine. And I heard that you were taken, that don't have to stop you from making late night phone calls on the telephone about your fantasies. Now to get it on when you need me, I will be there for you, my sweet lady. Would you be my sweet love for a lifetime? I'll be there when you need me. Just call and receive me, my sweet lady. Would you be my sweet love for a lifetime?
Come on. Taste this season, you know what I mean? Baby making season, you know what it is, man.
It's amazing how you knock me off my feet.
Bang, bang, bang.
Every time you come around me, I get weak. Oh, yeah. Nobody ever made me feel this way.
Yeah, you listening to Super Play, let's go.
You kiss my lips and then you take my breath away. So I wanna know what turns you on. Yeah, I like to know, so I can be all that and more. I like to know. I like to know what makes you cry. So I can be the one who always make you smile. Girl, he never understood what you were worth. No. And he never took the time to make it work. You deserve more love than no. Girl. Baby, I'm the kind of man who shows concern. Yes, I do. Any way that I can please you, let me learn. So I won't know. So I can be all that and more. I like to know. I like to know what makes you cry. So I can be the one who always make you smile. Make you smile, baby. Tell me what I gotta do to please you, baby. Anything you say I'll do, 'cause I only wanna make you happy. From the bottom of my heart, it's true. Tell me what I gotta do to please you, baby. Anything that I'll do, 'cause I only wanna make you happy. From the bottom of my heart.
Blaze, let's go.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Bang, bang, bang.
Baby, grind on me. Relax your mind, take your time on me. Let me get deeper, shorty, ride on me. Now come and text me till your body gets so weak. With slow grinding, baby, grind on me. Relax your mind, take your time on me. Let me get deeper, shorty, ride on me. Now come and text me till your body gets so weak. Baby,
Good love till your body gets weak. Good love till your body gets weak.
grind on me,
Till your body gets weak.
grind on me.
Till your body gets weak.
Baby,
Till your body gets weak. Good love till your body gets weak. Till your body gets weak. Ooh, got the feeling that you know the way I'm about to get deep, the way I dive in that sea, and I won't hold back for you, baby. From the slow to the fast on you, baby. It ain't nobody like you, no baby. Good love to your, good love to your body gets weak. Till your body gets weak. Till your body gets weak.
Grind on me.
It's okay. They can watch the playback later on. You know what I mean? We on YouTube live right now, so
Stretch your legs out.
they did say you can watch back the video after the Super Bowl. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Riding on me, on me.
Bang, bang, bang.
We just having a little fun, man. The Autonomous Party Podcast Mix Show, Super Blaze Inside the Campaign Mix, a little R&B vibe. Tap in later on. We got the ladies panel. You know what I mean?
Good love to your
We got the Autonomous ladies on deck tonight. You know what I mean?
good love till your body gets weak.
Let's go ahead and tap in.
Till your body,
Hit that like, share, subscribe.
till your body gets weak. Till your body gets weak.
Tap into that Patreon. You know what it is.
Good love till your body gets weak. Your body gets. Ooh, got the feeling that you know the way I'm about to get deep, the way I dive in that sea, and I won't hold back for you, baby. From the slow to the fast on you, baby. It ain't nobody like you, no baby. Good love to your, good love to your body gets weak. Till your body gets weak. Till your body gets weak.
Grind on me. Relax your mind, take your time on me. Girl, stretch your legs, dirty wine on me. I got you wet, now you sliding on me. I'm thinking about you in the condo. Baby, I pull up on you solo. Not with the gang, girl, I swear I'm rolling dolo. I ease the pain off your body, girl, you don't know. And I won't hold back from you, baby. And I won't go back on you, baby. Pulling all on your tracks, going crazy.
Thugger, thugger.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze, let's go.
Make you say, no limit. Got that masterpiece, no limit, baby. You get that black car, no limit. Just know when you roll with a nigga like me, there's no limit, baby. Make you say, no limit. I see murder that, no limit, baby. Give you that ghetto D, girl, no limit. Just know when you roll with a nigga like me, there's no limit, baby.
You see money all around me, I look like I'm the man. Yeah, but I was down and out like last week. Tell me, where have you been? You came out of hiding, girl. Don't act like I'm your man, I'm just a fan.
relationship gon' last if he not having no chip. You need a man, buy you bags, have you bragging and shit. You don't need no man without no plan, doing all that nagging and shit. Well, it's Gucci, man, and Gold Link, and we got gold sinks. I just bought my chick a cold mink, down with the mold thing. Brought the Lambo up to DC so they can see me. Got shot glizzy with me, but ain't nothing shy about me. Spend a week with Gucci and I boost your self-esteem. Wow. Every time I ball, you ball, we ball, girl, we a team. Dining with the king so you get treated like a queen. Got her shining like the diamonds on my neck.
Campaign, we in the building, you already know what it is. It's tap in, 9 o'clock, you already know what we doing.
Like I'm the man.
Shout out to all the ladies out there. We know it's Super Bowl. We shout out to the ladies on that reason, you dig? For real. You gotta be romantic and tap in, you know what it is. Vibe with us.
Girl, don't act like I'm your man.
Yo, Mac, you a Roman, bro?
I'm just a fan. You don't hold ring. No.
Pause. You gotta know I ain't no Roman. Ain't no romantic shit happening over here. You heard me? Tap in. You heard?
Scooch.
Shots fired. Let's go, man.
You see money all around me. I look like I'm the man.
Man, tap in. You know what it is, man. Share, like, subscribe.
But I was down out like last week. Tell me, where have you been? Came out of hiding, girl. Don't act like I'm your man. I'm just a fan. You don't hold ring. No. Don't hold no.
Cause you too bad for this shit. How the relationship gon' last if he not having no chip? You need a man, buy you bags, have you bragging and shit. You don't need no man without no plan, doing all that nagging and shit. Well, it's Gucci, man, and Gold Link, and we got gold sinks. I just bought my chick a cold mink, down with the mold thing. Brought the Lambo up to DC so they can see me. Got shot glizzy with me, but ain't nothing shy about me. Spend a week with Gucci and I boost your self-esteem. Wow. Every time I ball, you ball, we ball, girl, we a team. Dining with the king so you get treated like a queen. Got her shining like the diamonds on my necklace, watch your ring.
Money all around me. I look like I'm the man. Yeah, but I was down out like last week. Tell me, where have you been? Came out of hiding, girl. Like I'm your man, I'm just a fan. You don't hold ring. No. Don't hold no ring.
I'm lying if I said I didn't want it. I could tell by your eyes that you focus. Bang. Yeah. Come and hop on this pony.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Can I dive in your ocean? Can I take a dive in your ocean? Yeah. Can I take a dive in your ocean? I swear I'm drowning, babe. You fuck me good and I mean good till I'm lazy, babe. Never had no pussy like yours, it got me crazy, babe. It got me crazy, babe. Yeah.
I'm in your world, it got me flowing, it got you talking shit. It got me slapping on that ass like I'm owning it. And when I'm gone, you call my phone and say I'm wrong for this. That pussy good, they might catch on to this.
I'm in my zone for this, might write a song for this. Used to drinking Hennessy, I need Patron for this.
Yeah, I gotta be strong for this. My name, she moaning it, yeah. And if you feeling like I'm feeling, just admit it, baby, yeah.
I'm lying if I said I didn't want it. Could tell by your eyes that you focus. Yeah. Come and hop on this pony. Can I dive in your ocean? Can I take a dive in your ocean? Yeah. Can I take a dive in your ocean?
Yeah. I need your attention. I know the last nigga failed the mission. You like the shower or the kitchen. I would be a fool if I listen.
Hit it from the back, then I hit way you calling my name, baby, I can tell that you want it.
Am I pleasing you right? In me that you're right. In me in time. Butterflies on my die.
You scratching my back, I'm all in, no cap. Only thing I speak is facts, all facts. I'm lying if I said I didn't want it. I could tell by your eyes that you focus. Bang, 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 yeah. Come and hop on this pony.
Come and hop on this pony.
Can I dive in your ocean? Can I dive in your ocean?
You so fucking precious when you smile. Yeah. Hit it from the back and drive you wild. Yeah, yeah. Girl, I lose myself up in those eyes. I just had to let you know you're mine. Hands on your body, I don't wanna waste no time. Feels like forever, even if forever's tonight. Just lay with me, waste this night away with me. You're mine. I can't look away, I just gotta say I'm so fucking happy you're alive. Yeah. Swear to God I'm down. If you down, all you gotta say is right. Yeah. Girl, anything I could do just to make you feel alright. Oh, I just had to let you know you're mine. Running circles around my mind. Even when it's rainy, all you ever do is shine. You on fire, you a star just like Mariah. Man, this feel incredible, I'll turn you to a bride.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze, let's go.
Bang, 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 bang.
I'll hold you down. I'm on my way. DJ Khaled.
Oh, you be thinking about do anything you wanna.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze, let's go.
Roll your mind.
We the best music.
And now you say you dream about doing it anyway. Oh yeah, just tell me where it's on your mind. On your mind.
Another one.
Yeah. Sit in my whip and see the stars. And see the stars. Show me just who you are. Show me just who you are. You know who really holds you down. Hold you down. And when you're not around, I don't hold you down. I'm the one gon' hold you down. I'm the one gon' hold you down. I'm on my way. I'm the one be rolling up in that Billy truck. So I'm rolling up. Won't you like right now?
Right now.
You the one got all I need. Give me all of you, all of me. But I'm on my way. I'm the one that's gon' hold you down. I'm the one gon' hold you down.
I had some problems back home. I ain't with that bullshit at all. Maybe it's that Virginia in me. Have a young nigga go so hard. Oh, but through it all, you stuck with me. Through it all, you never ducked off like them cowards when they hit me. Give me, girl, I swear to God, you the real one. Ain't no, ain't not pretty new y'all, but a real one.
Pull up. Yeah, man, pull up, man. Oh, don't forget each and every Sunday right here. Super Blaze in the mix, 8 to 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? It's the campaign mix each and every Sunday. I know last week you couldn't be here and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, things happen sometimes. We go to our SoundCloud. That's why we got the SoundCloud. So you can go and listen to his mixes that he uploads from these actual podcast mix shows that we do. So it's more than just a podcast. We do got that element. Thanks to our man, Blaze. Salute, my guy. All the mixes did over this last year. So you did. Yeah, we're a year plus into it. So shout out to you on that. We got a women's panel that's gonna be nice tonight. I got some ladies pulling up on us. So, some heat. And first though, because last week we do Aboriginal Wall Street, and when we do Aboriginal Wall Street, we do it with the mind of doing economics and talking about politics and things that's going to impact us right now, and the things that we're doing going forward. Again, aboriginalwallstreet.com, right? But at the same time, I was trying to squeeze in. We had a technical difficulty with a special guest of mine that I said this week I'm gonna make it up. And being it's a woman, I felt I should start off the show with a little bit of economics coming from a woman's point of view, then with some credit type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Can we pull up our special guest with that first, real quick? Yes, indeed. How you doing?
I am well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. By the way, y'all, this is my sister, Tangela Brown. Yes, indeed, in the building. So, Tan, I know you my sister, but I ain't gonna be biased to you in the little short time I got with you. So I
Okay.
want you to talk to the people about what you've been doing with the credit and how you've been impacting people who've been getting involved with you with your credit program that you've been doing. Can you talk to people a little bit about that real quick on this today? This is my quick little insert on this economics for you to kick in this part, please.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. I first got to give a shout out to my brother for allowing me to speak on his platform. And I'm so proud about what he's doing because he's very passionate about the community and finance and history and just the whole 9 yards. He's always had that vibe and that passion. So this is definitely his spot. I am his sister. I am Tangela Brown. And the reason why I started with this company and dealing basically with credit is because there are almost 57 million people that are having credit issues. And it really has increased because of COVID. And I myself had my own issues, and I just felt that it was something that I had to deal with. And then working in the community of Broward County, going into hospitals, going into homes, going to a nursing homes, going to assisted livings, I saw that disparity was always about knowing about credit, understanding a will, trust, and power of attorney, a durable power of attorney, a power of attorney, and a guardianship. Families don't understand how these things really impact their lives, especially when you have a family member who's now not able to care for themselves and they're not able to make decisions. And the last thing that you want to do is to allow the state to come in and deal with your family member. We have to start owning and taking care of our family. When you don't understand about a durable power of attorney, a healthcare surrogate, or guardianship, you got to get into it. You got to get into it. And credit is also an issue because we may have money, but if you don't have the credit, then it's almost like having a hamburger and not having a bun and all the other extras that go along with it. You want all of it and you want access to everything. You just don't want the hamburger and you just definitely just don't want the bun. You want everything. And why shouldn't you? Because everybody is deserving of it. We just got to apply it. We got to apply the pressure of the knowledge and apply what we know. So what I've been doing is definitely working with people, getting their credit on point, and the education part of it is the education. Having someone just to fix your credit, okay, all well and good. But then if you get to a point because of emergency, because life is gonna happen. Life happens every day. But when we don't know how to adjust and to readapt to get back on point, then that's the issue. That means that we didn't learn anything. And we just going through another lesson that we shouldn't have to go back through. But if we know how to adjust and move, we're going to come out far more better. And then we're going to be able to impact our families because these are not conversations that we're not having at our family dinner tables no more. And that has to change. We have to be present in all things. So helping people getting their confidence back, helping people get their credit back, helping people to be able to get a home or get a car, that's huge. So for me, it was necessary. it was necessary for me to do this because it impacted my life and it's impacted so many people's homes that I've gone into. You may have seen me. You maybe have seen me at your loved one's hospital bed, but now you know who I am. Now you know why I'm so passionate about this, because we just got to do better. We just got to do better. So that's how, I got started. That's the reason why I got started, because I have been working in Broward County for 25 years with Department of Children and Families. So, I've seen about the food stamps, I've seen about the Medicaid, but then when I went to the Adult Protective Services side, that just opened up a whole can opener of things that I saw. And it really made me start thinking about life, of how do I want my life to end up? What do I want to do for myself? What do I want to do for my family? And as I said, many times we don't understand certain things. And then when we try to spring things onto our family members, our parents, because they get to a certain age, they're like, no, I'm good. But they still don't understand the impact and why it's so necessary. And don't wait till they get to a certain age and then try to change their mindset, because most times they're set in their ways and they ain't gonna move.
That's real.
That's real, right?
We know that in our own family situations, and that's just the reality of everybody's family situation. Ain't nobody above or under these situations, because it can happen to anybody's family, especially, when you see certain things. I want to, with your background, like I said, so I ain't got to be biased, because you've worked for the county of Broward for many years, and that's a fact. And I think that so many of our people that work for the county and the cities and their government, state levels, and see what's going on in our own communities and how our people are not in the best positions prepared for what's going to happen in the future, that they see, you could be in your 30s, 40s. You don't think about these things. But when you get to when you live to get to 50, 60 years, 60 and 70 years old, and now your children are moving on to do certain things, and now they live in their life, they got children, grandchildren of their own. What are you doing now to make sure that you're secure? And like you said about probate, and when you die and property that ends up going to the state, now you have to go to probate and dealing with will and trust. That is something that we got to get right in this generation, of learning financial literacy, of how to protect our wealth so we don't give it right back. So with that being said, the part of your business that is so impactful is the thing that you've been doing for individuals that are trying to get their credit right. You know what I'm saying? Correct. So, well, and I gave you this quick clip to come in. I'm going to let you come back another time to go in deep in depth. But I wanted to get you, because I have a women's discussion tonight on a whole bunch of topics, but I wanted you to come in to kind of give me that credit part in the beginning for people. I want you to get that plug in. I'm going to put that, I'm being biased, y'all. That's right. I'm being biased. I said I wasn't, but I'm being biased. It's my sister. So I want you to plug in what you've been doing with the credit part before we get back into the rest of the show. And I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to bring you back on Aboriginal Wall Street, actually, to talk about these things, because what you do is dealing with really more of our Wall Street portion of things. You feel me, God and Blaze? You know what I mean? But I still felt to introduce you with it that you should come on tonight with this women's panel talking about many different things tonight that we're going to be talking about. And I wanted you to add that in, and people get to see your face and now know that, I bring my own family on the show, y'all. I ain't no capping over here. No capping. Even though I got a cap on. I know. But anyways, what's the name of and how can people get in contact? Can you give them that information real quick before we slide tonight?
Sure. My name is Tandela Brown. My phone number is 954-253-0014. You can contact me, or you can email me at tcbnewb19@gmail.com. And I partner with United Wealth Credit Education Services. So you can definitely contact me. Not an issue. Always been willing to help and give information. Service has always been a big part of me. So anything that I can share, I'm always willing to.
Now, if y'all start calling her and harassing her in some kind of way, it's going to be problems. I'm letting y'all know that too. So please be respectful when you do. She gave you her. Don't be stalking. I promise y'all, fellas, don't be doing this. I ain't playing with y'all. I ain't doing it. But at the same time, though, yes, the business. Hey, I'm being real. I'm laughing, but I'm serious.
I know you are.
So at the end of the day, I'm I'm being for real. I can laugh and get serious because I'm serious. So, like, yeah, be respectful if you do call her. I would appreciate you supporting what she does, and you can get in contact with me as well, obviously. And I'll make sure, you know, if you're interested in that service or in what she got going on, and how she might be able to help you with some of these things that she has been helping people with. And again, she will definitely be back on dealing with these kind of topics so we can impact in that way. It's a family business we do over here. Shout out to the Browns. See, these my Browns over here act right. See, we act right. We ain't the bad news Browns. Unless you get a problem with us, then they might be, you know. Shout out to my sister, man. I love you.
Love
Thank
you.
you for coming on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Bye.
No problem. I'm gonna see you soon. Say that. Oh, she left me too fast. So,
no, I did.
Say the business one more time. What's the website and how to get in contact with that one more time before you leave?
It's United Wealth Credit Education Services. You can reach me at tcbnewb19@gmail.com. My phone number is 954-253-0014, and I'll give you all the information that you need.
Thank you very much. We're going to get you a link to y'all in the future. For everybody that knows, she does have a link. So we will be getting that link. We'll be sharing it out through our sources and our platforms. For anybody that you can click on the link too and get straight to her as well. So we will be writing that link. Once again, thanks you, Tan.
All right. You're right. Take care.
Shout out to my nephew. Just turned 19 just the other day too. You know what I mean? Shout out to my family, my nephew. You're getting old on me and stuff. For sure. We're going to go into a song, and right after that, we're going to come back and pull me up real quick. Thank you, Tan.
All right. Take care.
We're going to get into this song real quick and get to this anthem. Shout out to Tamika. She's been sharing it to everybody. And we want to make sure that we, because people can say they got feedback and ask them where you can get it at. So you can go to indiu.org. You know what I'm saying? This is the anthem that Tavis Sanders and his family and his peoples have been able to, orchestrate for people to get this song. It's an anthem for Indigenous people. So, you know what I mean? We're going to play it real quick. And after we come right back, we're going to bring on the panel discussion. Shout out to everybody that's in the back, all the ladies that pulled up on us tonight. We're going to get straight into the conversation. Let's pull up. Blaze.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Yes. Turn up.
Still unamalgamated. Heartbeat, the sound of the bass drum. Come with your best shot, I'll take one. Rumble in the jungle, I'm a lion. Stand up for your Mercy Nation. Hey, for these generations, we the people lost but not forgotten. Tribal rivalry is the problem. One love, the key for what we locked in. Don't call me a doctor, but I will be your medicine man. We're all from the melting pot, so everybody in the crowd is a Native American. Like me, what can't you see? The enemy is a L-I-E. One family tree we are. The truth is like smoking Joe and so far. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, 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 y'all, hey y'all. I rule my dominion. I'm part Asian, Indian, Dominican. Back to Hindu, Dravidian, so Mexicano, loco, man. Yes, Egyptian fits my description. Yes, I'm training hard for the mission. Yes, I'm a country boy from the south, and mama said knock you out. I'm in the ring like. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will. harder they fall. Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will go, go, go. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will stand strong.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Yes, right. We right back at it. Thank you, Blaze, for that right there. Tamika, you like that joint. That's why I had to bring that one back in. You know what I mean? I had to,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you said you like that one, so I had to go ahead and shout out to Tavis and them. Shout out to indiu.org. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Oh man, so shoot, I think you the first one with the face on the screen, so I'm gonna pull you up first. You know what I mean? We're gonna let you get the big spot first. Shout out to Rhonda Johnson for pulling up tonight. I thank her for the matriarch that's pulling up tonight to talk to us. But you are the person I actually invited her to, so I'm gonna give you credit for that as well. Thank you for inviting her to this panel discussion. Tell the people what you about, what you do. You know what I'm saying? Let you speak for yourself first. You know what I mean? Before we get into anything, that's why everybody to meet everybody first. You know what I mean?
Okay, so where do I start? Met Brother Mac in the clubhouse. Shout out to the clubhouse folks listening in. We've been in these streets of what we call the conscious community. Both of us have for a while. We had a conversation about that last night, and it was pretty freaking amazing. I also am a guest host on Auntie Rhonda's channel, which is Truth Uncompromised. My segment that I cover is the Land Report. As far as my background, those that know me already know what it is. I think I can start with being in Atlanta, and DeKalb County was testing the water for lead, and there was lead in the water. And I met with two individuals from the EPA who also knew about the issue before they even started testing. I started to get into different political groups to bring attention to it. One of them was the Green Party. I was the co-chair for the Green Party in DeKalb County for a very short time, trying to bring awareness to the situation that was happening with our water. In a nutshell, they didn't want to hear it. And yeah, so I left Georgia, and I'm out here in Nevada. And I'm a real estate agent in real life. And I study land patents, and I study different ways to acquire land, the old-fashioned way and the new way. So I'll be coming from that space tonight.
So, all right. So I'm not going to go into, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. So I'm about to jump on you. I ain't going to do that right now. I'm going to wait. So real quick, you can pull up Rhonda Johnson because she's next. I just want to introduce her as well. Rhonda,
you
how
can
you
bring
doing?
her on at the same time, please.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk. We can do that. I just want to pull up, put it on the big screen real quick, like I did you. I'm gonna treat everybody the same way. You know what I mean? How you doing, Rhonda?
I'm good. Peace and love, everybody. Sorry, I ain't camera ready, y'all. So it is what it is tonight.
Hey, I understand.
Yeah.
Either way, you here with us though.
Yeah. So glad to be here. Peace and love, everyone.
Peace. So you have a channel, and you've been doing your thing. Your word gets around. So can you give a little bit of insight on yourself so people can know, because it's your first time on all platforms. So just let everybody know what you got going on.
Sure. Well, my particular channel is called Truth Uncompromised. And I've been doing it for about 6 years, but I really just ramped up on YouTube the last 3 years. Because of course I started on Blog Talk Radio, but yeah. So you know what it is if you've been in the game a while.
That's old school. Ain't a guy that's Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk, and then if you needed to put it on YouTube, you had to download it, edit it, and upload it. Yeah, that part. So, but the focus of my channel, it's a couple of folds. it's rooted in spirituality, and then also going into what the true history of the world is, and specifically the true history of what happened here in America, and the Americas rather, and how it's been whitewashed, wiped out, and how the focus is on slavery and the out of Africa theory, which, you know, those here pretty much know that is the furthest thing from the truth. So
agree.
that's really what my platform focuses on.
Well, I want to tell you, Rhonda Johnson, that I actually came across one of your YouTubes. Which one was it, God? That they did. Tamika was on it. Which one was it?
Was it one that I shared in Clubhouse? It was probably the Black Revolutionary War. One of those series.
There ain't no telling which one.
You had some European guys on the show.
Oh yeah, that's our brother Odell. Yeah, he's from the UK. Yeah, brother Odell from the UK.
He was y'all was on that one right there. Listen here, y'all.
That was fire. I know.
I'm gonna give it to you. Now.
I know anybody that's into that information, that even slightly studied it, he blew the roof off of it, because I didn't heard them all of the gurus that's into that stuff. I didn't heard it all, and that brother blew the roof off of that. So that's brother Odell from the UK.
Well, Odell from the UK. Rhonda, I might need to holler at you and see if we can get him on our show too.
Oh, he would be happy to. He is such a beautiful soul. Yeah.
For sure. I appreciate that plug. So, real quick, I got Yashika just pulled up, so we're gonna get into the conversation. I want everybody so everybody can get familiar with the woman we do have on the panel. You know what I'm saying tonight. What's up, Yashika? What's popping?
Peace and love, sis.
Hey, everybody. I got like a couple of things going on at the same time. I'm over here on Twitter Spaces too, in this Indigenous room, speaking about, the title has changed so much, but it's about 200 or 300 people in the room. So I'm just trying to give my information so that people can understand what we're dealing with when it comes to these immigration policies. Yeah, it's a lot going on, y'all. But we are solid. The tribe is forming. More and more Black Americans are hip to what's going on. And my goal is for those of us in high places to create change, opposed to just talking about the stuff. Because a lot of us are in positions where we can actually do something. And because of the effects of like Pan-Africanism, we have helped a lot of people up, unfortunately, which has not been in our best interest, which has been part of our demise, So it's a lot of correcting going on that we're doing now. We have to correct what's happening. We could have corrected it on a more global scale had, Biden and Kamala not been in office. But, they're here, as you know. So we're just trying to gatekeep and stop some of this stuff from happening, because as you know, like, immigration has kind of gotten out of control, especially with all this funding through the Freedmen's Bureau, funding through the refugees. They're being lifted up while our people are being pushed further down. So that's what happened going on. But hey guys, happy Super Bowl Sunday. I haven't had even a second to look at the game.
For real?
I know, right? This is not what. It's been a lot going on.
Listen, I watched the first half while I walked up into the studio tonight, and I know that the Rams were up at that time. I don't know what's going on. I might have to get a countdown in a minute. Blaze, you might have to help me out with that tonight. What's going on with the game? 16-20 is what we're saying right now. Cincinnati is up 16-20 right now. Okay. That's an update. See, I got my updates coming in. I'm going to watch it after.
What quarter are they in?
I know they was in the third quarter.
Okay.
Who performs?
Yeah.
A lot of people. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the combination there. Everybody's saying it's the best halftime ever. You know what I mean? Already. That's what everybody's saying. That's what everybody's LeBron James, everybody's tweeting and all that good stuff right now. This halftime is supposed to be something to see. So everybody check it out.
I'm just waiting for the satanic ritual videos to start.
I like how you came in on top. Oh, watch out. Wait a second. Let's get the screen a little bit
The
different here so we can get all the
Masons, they
ladies up here real
coming.
quick.
Okay.
All right, so so look, I want to ask y'all some questions about, because I've been doing this series on the ethnogenesis of the Aboriginal American, Indigenous American, people that look like us that's been discriminated, disenfranchised, and the plight that we go against with our own people. And I know a lot of dudes in the conscious community always talk about that, all the YouTube channels you've seen, Blog Talk, like Miss Rhonda said, and other situations that we know if you've been around for a minute. But now in this era right now, I want to hear some women kind of give it. And I've been seeing these Yashika, Tamika, Rhonda. I could say all three of y'all. I've seen y'all in action. So thank y'all for coming on this platform to give me a little bit of it. And tell me, you can go in order, whoever wants to go first. How do you see this era right now with the information, and how really can it impact what's going on right now with everything going on right now? Like, you think your people in your communities are grasping this understanding of what y'all guys are kicking out and what's coming out from the conscious community about us being indigenous to America? And I'm a yield.
Absolutely. They know exactly what's going on, because it's almost impossible for you not to see it at this point, because other ethnicities are being raised up, and with our economic, I'll say failure at this point, where we stand with everyone else, they're being given grants, they're being given reparations to some degree. The Mexicans just got something for what happened at the border. I think they each got $450,000 for their children. I'm not sure if y'all know about that, but even with the Freedmen's Bureau, like I said, they just released that $9 billion. So who's getting that money? Who's getting that money? If Black Americans aren't getting that money, someone's getting that money.
Right.
Okay, so they're definitely, our people see what's going on. They see that there's so many other brown people or Black people in rising to power politically. We got a senator in Michigan who's from the continent, a woman. They have a whole plan for the Office of New Americas. We got 47 offices across the United States, and those different agendas are placed in our communities. These people who are coming here, these immigrants who are coming here, are being placed in Detroit. They're being placed in DC. They're placed in New York. They're placed in Atlanta. They're placed, 47 cities where these people are coming, and they're given programs when it comes to after school programs, when it comes to getting them situated in the country. There's already funds allocated for this other group of melanated people in our community. So where do you think all that money's coming from?
Shoot. I mean, Tamika, what you think? I'm gonna let you go next. What you think?
I'm not an expert on immigration, but I hear the discussion and I overstand, and I get it. I'm not the best person to comment on where the funding is going, because I do know that if we don't apply ourselves, then we can't complain. And I do see a lot of people not applying themselves. I see them complaining a lot. And that's the part that frustrates me. We have to formulate businesses. There's a lot of controversy over what type of entity you should be setting up. Is it a 501c4 or a 501c3 or a 501c8 or an LLC? This one's better than this one. Like, God dang it, just set something up and apply yourself. That's where I'm at with it. Because if we don't apply ourselves, then we forfeit our seat. And then we're complaining because of what? Because of the boogeyman, white supremacists.
Tamika, let me just add to that. You are so right, okay? But a lot of us don't know where to start. So that is where I know there's this one guy, he does the Black Think Tank on Clubhouse to try to educate people about starting their own businesses. But yes, definitely in the Indigenous community also needs to educate those in those rooms about how to start an LLC or whatever entity you want to be. Because again, funding, when it comes to those grants, when it comes to those Black businesses, these other melanated people are starting them. They have business accounts. They're giving the game. They're helping each other out. So I
agree.
It's not that many continental Africans or people I know from the diaspora that don't have their own business, even if they're just sitting on it. They have their own business and they also have their corporate job. So they're getting the bag for that funding that was allocated for us. You know what I mean? And we don't know about it. We're still trying to figure it out, or playing the Section 8 game, or, you know, doing the whole, you just have your one job and you struggle, you know?
Right. I've been on both sides, Sister Yashika. So that's why I speak from that place. I've been that person who was struggling, single mother, no help. Mama said, you want to be grown and have babies, you got to get out of here and go make it work. So yeah, I've been that one too. And I can honestly say, you know, when people do step into these spaces and they do offer their help, because I do that all the time. I let people know, like, this is what I specialize in. I have resources on my website. If you need to start a business, call me, text me. I'll walk you through it. I'm not asking for no money. They don't take up the offer majority of the time because they don't want to do the work.
Right. Or they're not prepared. Most of the times they are so far from being prepared because they think that these programs that are being set up, that it's going to be free, easy money. And that's not how the game works. And it's the lack of preparedness and wanting to put in the work a lot of times that get people stuck. So yes, people are waking up, which is a good thing, but I do agree that a lot are struggling on where to start. And then you have a sector that is privy to this information that we know that's really up on their stuff. You know, let's be honest, a lot of them have the mindset that, you know, something's going to be given right back to them. Something's going to be turned over right back to them. And, you know, I express to them all the time, first of all, if, you know, let's say as I'm having this conversation, the man, and I use that in quotations, the infamous boogeyman, interrupt my scheduled program and say, listen, broad, I'm tired of you complaining. We're not going to bother you all anymore. Here's a patch of land, go for it. And I said to people, tell me how many are prepared to run that land without said infrastructure. Crickets. So we have to, at the root of this, change your mindset. We have to go back to the basics and build foundations, because you can't jump into eating a steak when you don't even know how to digest that baby formula. So that's just my 2 cents.
Real quick, before I keep going with this conversation, I see Lila pulled up. Shout out to Lila Brown. I got another Brown in the building. What's going on, Lila? What's popping?
Hi, hello.
Peace and love.
Hi, Yashika. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you, Mac. No, it's a lot of things going on right now. It's really crazy out in Los Angeles, Super Bowl, good things. But I did want to say something. Can I to the last speaker? I'm not sure who that was.
I mean, that was Rhonda Johnson.
Yeah, it's like we can't keep perpetuating these myths that we don't know how to maintain infrastructure when it comes to agriculture. We are training generations of future farmers in certain parts of the United States. So I know I'm just coming into the discussion, but I just didn't want that to be. I know way too many young farmers. I know way too many of our brothers and sisters down at HBCUs that are in these programs that are well funded, and for the duration of these, however long these institutions will exist, they will be well funded and supported. So I just wanted to make that known, because these are very small rural areas in America. So no, I think to anticipate that, yes, we will get land, and then how to run that. I mean, if it was our family's land to begin with, we should have some aspect and knowledge of farming. So I just don't want to get away from that because I know way too many millennials that are into, you know, the rodeo lifestyle, agriculture, farming, and I just don't want those people to be ignored because I think what they're doing is amazing, and that's the future. So to say anything remotely close to that, I think that's so discouraging, unfortunately.
I do think there is a gap. We do need to bridge a gap because these young men that I'm actually in a room with right now on Twitter Spaces, they're actually very young. But they got the fire in them, and they are not playing any games in this conversation when it comes to us as Indigenous people. They are not playing with the disrespect. They are standing their ground respectfully. Conversations are being had, and they're gatekeeping. So we do need to connect like the generations, you know what I mean? The young generation, I'm talking about 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, 40, 50. We do need to connect people together so that we can kind of support each other the correct way. Because honestly, the younger ones, the 20-year-olds, they're not trying to hear anything that the 50-year-olds or 60-year-olds are saying. Because it's a different mindset. We live in a different time. They're actually over here dealing with real-time things that other generations didn't deal with. For example, the first and second generational immigrants. That's a whole nother beast to our youth.
Mm-hmm.
A whole nother beast. They're actually being bullied by the immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the HBCU campuses. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, it's serious because some of our professors are not even able to get jobs at HBCUs. Now they're already being amalgamated with the Africans and other people from the diaspora. So you got a continental African teaching African American history.
Ooh, wait a second. Stop
Wow.
right there. See, now I want you, Yashika. I'm glad you said that. So I've seen you, particularly in my time of me meeting you and Lila on Clubhouse, more particularly in these rooms with these groups of people, and this debate that's going on about that I don't think the world really even knows about that's going on platforms maybe. So in this case, there's a real debate about the African that literally just came here recently under like from the Nigerian, and when they get to America, they say they black or they say they African American. But we know that's a cliche term in the 21st century now, because we know the people that we're talking about when we talk about Black history, layman terms. I'm gonna let y'all know I don't really mess with this term like that, but I'm using it for general purposes of us knowing layman terms of what we raised in. I went to HBCU, I went to FAMU, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't caught up in all that. But at the same time, how do you guys look at this Johnny come lately situation that's attaching on to heritage that came before the emancipation? How do y'all see that?
It's deep colonization. They are the new colonizers, to be honest with you. They are the colonizers now. Because a lot of these people, they're coming over here as diplomats. They're coming over here with money, yet they get to come over here and then play the Black struggle. So all of these progressive statuses that we have or benefits that we have based off of the Black American struggle, whether you get to intern with a Fortune 500 company, with all these different things that you get to have as a Black American, they're coming over here with money, but they're also able to usurp this identity and have those different benefits as well. So they're double dipping in the international opportunities and the Black American opportunities. And this is how they segue and get in. I was actually just talking to a Nigerian guy yesterday who his daughter is getting ready to go to college. I think she's a senior, so she's looking for scholarships. However, he's applying for different scholarships for her, but he makes too much money. So he's trying to figure out how he can get her a scholarship without showing how much money he makes. You see what I'm saying? Whereas the Black American might not have any generational wealth or be wealthy in any way. And then actually that scholarship at that school was allotted for that Black American who did not come from money or whatever. So this is where we have a problem at these institutions. This is where we have a problem where there's so many different African Americans that are from somewhere else who are getting these Harvard scholarships, who are getting all these minority scholarships. So there's so many different ways where the Black American is being cut out. Okay, from the beginning, from a child. Okay, from a child, then we have to get into the corporation. You get into the Fortune 500 companies, corporate America, all these different places, HR. Okay, where where we have made these spaces at the table, and we have lifted other people into these positions, and now we are taken out of these positions, and that's what's happening.
I wanted to comment on the educators at HBCUs because my background is journalism. And so when I think back on the program, I'm trying to figure out, how did Africans find Middle Georgia? How did they find Fort Valley State University? So basically these people were put into these positions to teach journalism to all these, however we want to identify at this point. And so they had experience in working in newsrooms. That was pretty much it. Anybody that's ever worked on a newspaper or for a radio station or had any legitimate experience. So sometimes we're not going back and really fulfilling roles as educators when it comes down to a lot of these HBCUs, maybe because they don't have the big funding to pay. But I just think that was a problem, because now with a lot of misinformation, a lot of just how information is disseminated, we weren't taught the importance of media when it comes to business, the importance of media and communicating with one another, and all of the propaganda that has happened to us. These are things I learned when I, matriculated at a so-called like privately white institution or whatever, just white institution. So I do have a problem with Africans educating our future business leaders and our future, just our scholars. I do have an issue with that. So I think it's way deeper than what I can even just imagine right now. But I think about the importance of media, especially right now with just everything that's going on with us. We need truth and we need accuracy. And just a lot of times it's sometimes us not, even being able to get those positions of power so we can come back and educate. So like I said, the bare minimum requirement was that these people had some experience in the field, and then they got to be our educators. And so that was a disadvantage, unfortunately.
So right now, when you said like that, can you look, Lila, can you go into that a little bit more when you said, like, how does the African find Fort Valley? Like, how do you think they find Fort Valley? I mean, like, I want you to go into that because I caught that. So can you give me that little detail?
Well, at the time I was matriculating in Middle Georgia. This is Peach County, Georgia. I mean, you literally drive down from Macon and it's cotton fields, plantations, but whatever. So we had a president that was Pan-African. So he would have a speaker series in which he brought like Amiri Barak. He brought in all these Pan-African thought leaders. And so I think that's what happened there. So there's always changes at HBCUs with administrations. But my time there, we had a Pan-African president. And so, of course, with administration changes, they can bring on whoever they want. So
wait, stop. Wait, I'm sorry. Real quick. Who's the Pan-African president? Is this Obama?
No. I'm talking about at a university.
Okay, I'm making sure. Like, whoo.
No, I mean the hiring at an institute, at a collegiate educational institution. That's what I'm saying. We were in Middle Georgia, and you're saying, how did an African find it?
Right, I got you now. I follow you.
It's fine. It's fine. No, it's okay. So basically, the administration at that university brought in certain type of, educators, was finding them and bringing them to Middle Georgia.
So would it be fair to say that the administrator of Pan-Africanism was also kind of responsible for shaping up that curriculum of Pan-Africanism in a melanated, I don't know if it was a HBCU or if it was just a melanated university, but nonetheless, is it safe to say that they were responsible for shaping Pan-Africanism being taught at that university level?
You know what? I'm sorry, Rhonda, Lila, but since y'all brought that up, I got an article that I'm gonna pull up, Yashika, Tamika, real quick. I'm gonna pull up an article dealing with something. And Yashika, you said something tonight, so I'm gonna bring up this article. Can you pull this article real quick so we can let everybody see this article real quick? Because this is dealing with what y'all all are talking about right now. Kind of like just off of the conversation. So this is dealing with the Freedmen's Bank and the forum and everything, right? Are y'all, Yashika, you remember you said something earlier about that Freedmen's Bank forum and everything, right?
Yes. And
All
so,
right.
And do you
All right,
also remember? You also remember her saying when they asked her about reparations, and she said, "I can't do something for a specific group of Black people, but I could do something for Black people." So that right there was her way of saying, "I'm going to do some things, but you're not going to be the only ones to benefit."
Right. And this is the same tactic they used when the original Freedmen's Bureau was instituted. If you go back and check the real history and you go into those freedmen records, they even had white folks on those freedmen records.
Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
So it was very little Indigenous Americans, AKA Black Indians, getting the benefit from the freedmen's. It was basically Black immigrant Europeans and white immigrant Europeans getting the benefits. So this is the same old tactic with the Freedmen's Bank being the gatekeeper per se of these supposed and alleged payments, AKA mask as reparations.
And that's the whole purpose of the misnomer. That's the misnomer freedmen, African American.
Exactly.
Those labels is so that everyone else can get the bag. Basically, they got to put you in with them, call you something else, so everyone else can also dip in there as well.
Well, on this
All right, real
article,
quick,
if you look
though,
there,
check
you
this out.
see the deputy treasury there.
He's African, right?
Yep, Wally
Adeyemo. That's African.
Somebody breaking up.
Yeah, we were all talking at the same time, but can you hear me? You look frozen, Matt.
Yeah, you look frozen, brother.
It happens it happened last show too. We gonna keep it going.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You just look a little bit frozen.
Can y'all hear me real quick? Hold on, real quick. Hold on, wait, real quick.
We can hear
I was
you.
breaking up. Can y'all hear me real quick? Because I'm breaking up.
We hear you the whole time.
brother.
Type in the chat. We can hear you.
Your video is frozen.
Yeah,
but
turn off your
voice is
vid to get more bandwidth.
Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo, the first Black person to serve in the role, moderated a panel at the Freedmen's Bank Forum in which he noted, people think about this as charity or donations when it's not, adding it's economics. Investing in these communities makes sense from an economic standpoint. Adeyemo noted that the challenge now is scale. Panelists highlighted that in order to achieve such scale, it's also important to establish technology and data infrastructure to help support financial institutions like CDFI and MDIs as they provide funding to generate economic growth for Black and minority-owned enterprises.
Is that not what I just said? Is that not what I just said? So they got an African over the funds.
Right, which is probably what? First generation to this land. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll even say second generation.
I'm gonna go Google this guy. What's his first name again?
It's Wally Adeyemo. So he's the deputy treasurer secretary of the Freedmen Bank. So you have to understand why they have a problem with us delineating, because they're already all in our business.
Yep.
Oh no, he works for the Treasury, period. He works for the U.S. Department of Treasury.
Which is even more dangerous.
So wow. He comes to the Treasury Department from the Obama Foundation, where he served as president in 2019.
Yeah.
Before joining the Obama Foundation,
I would say
Adeyemo served as a senior advisor at the Center for Strategic and International Studies at BlackRock.
Oh, child, I'm done.
Mic drop.
I'm done. I'm done.
Mic drop. If anybody knows about BlackRock, Auntie did a whole build on BlackRock.
The oligarchy that's pretty much controlling a bunch of stuff and about to control all the real estate if they haven't already done it.
Oh, they already had.
Yeah, that's...
So when you're talking
Wow.
about this money, you're talking about their businesses. This is where the money's coming from. This is where the funding comes from.
So the Treasury, so I don't want to lie upon these people. You're saying the Treasury Department is funding the Freedmen's Bureau, this particular initiative.
What I'm saying is the same way Obama was Kenyan and Caucasian. However, he was powerful enough to take Negro out of law, which directly impacted the American Indian.
Yep.
Then you have another non-American Indian in a position of power to govern funds where we and them are considered the same.
Commingled.
Lila, you wanted to say something, love?
Well, yeah, when it comes to all this is where our money is held up. It's held up in the Treasury. So the president can grant payments, and then somehow we have to put it in like to some type of collection to get this money out of the Treasury. But this is the thing when it comes to freedmen, and this is where I guess as these things are coming up, we as the freedmen have to speak up. And if you're going to enroll in a certain tribe, you got to be on the Dawes roll. And so that means I have to tap into my lineage from 1900, 1906, around that time. And I think it should be the same specifications and requirements. Now, we don't have banks. So how are we going to receive this money? There was a Black-owned bank called Capital City Bank in Atlanta I used to bank with. I didn't like a lot of their prices. They were super uber slow, but I still banked with them. You know, it's a Black bank, but they still followed a lot of the SEC guidelines and practices, which I thought defeated the purpose. But at any rate, two things. I mean, growing up with my family, we were taught not to put our money into banks. I don't know if that's like an Indian thing.
Y'all can hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're good, brother.
I was just gonna.
All right, sorry about that.
Saying,
I know
yeah,
I'm
so-
having a little technical difficulty, so I went out for a minute. But
yeah.
Overall, the cause I don't know what happened over here for a minute, but
You
I
want
pulled
me to
him up.
catch
You
you
see that
up?
guy Wally? Y'all were talking about him. I heard. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
couldn't talk in for a minute. I had to go out. But you see the guy, right? He's Nigerian, right?
Yeah, we were
So,
just
I
talking
mean-
about him being a part of that.
I mean, I know you see that though. I mean, y'all went through him and everything. So do y'all see the play though, right? I mean, make sure y'all.
Oh yeah, we see it.
But I was trying to explain how to get this money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And we're not getting it. Because we don't, not saying we don't, but the institutions and how you receive this money, you have to meet certain specifications. So I think it is for the freedmen or the people that come from this lineage to speak up and say something in terms of determining who gets this money, because this is $9 billion directly. But if you don't bank with a Black-owned bank, then this Black-owned bank is not going to receive the money that they can then disperse to the community. And a lot of times this money comes in the form of grants, loans, award payments, and things like that. So yeah, we need money for scholarships and housing. So $9 billion is a lot of money. It can help Black-owned businesses. It can help, and we're gonna need some systems in place so they can get that money. And
I'm not trying to cut your thought, but this guy is a globalist. So
so am I. I am as well.
Who you talking about? Wally? You talking about Wally, right? You talking about Wally, right?
Yeah, he's a globalist. And when I'm
I
saying
know,
he's a
so
globalist,
essentially,
let me
this
finish
is the
this.
United
Let me
States.
finish my thought real quick.
Real
He's
quick,
a
we go back and forth.
globalist
Hold on.
elite. Okay, we can care about the globe and we can care about the whole of Mama Earth and all of her people. I'm with you on that. He is what you would consider a globalist elite, which is different than what you're talking about. But go ahead.
No, it's not. Capital City Bank was a Black-owned bank. We have banks. There was banks in Tulsa. So I'm saying how to get this money. Nobody's talking about how to get this money. And I'm a Black business owner in the United States. But at the same token, I can go and get with the tribal nations and defer all of that. But still, if there's money for freedmen, and in my lineage, I have freedmen, whether my ancestors banked with this institution or not, it's like I said, it's twofold. We were taught to never put our money into their banks. So that's just like an Indian rule, I'll say, because we call it what, white man's bank. We literally meant that, like, don't put our money into their banks. And so then we had our own banks. And so what I'm saying is, how do I get this money? Well, I have to apply for this money through certain people that do awards, they do grant writing, underwriting, all these things. And so where are those people? Because at the end of the day, like I said, $9 billion is a lot of money. And I would rather discuss how to get that money as opposed to what this Nigerian is going to do. The United States is set up for immigrants to come over here. Those are the peace treaties. That's what it is. We have to raise our expectations and what we want and what we're demanding here. But other than that, the United States is a corporation to bring in immigrants. It is to benefit from colonization. So that they're doing their part. That's what the United States is designed to do. What I'm saying is, if we have some money entrusted that comes from a lineage of from 1776, 1763 on back and forth all the way to today, then I would rather learn more about how to get that money. And there's way too many of our brothers and sisters that know how to get that money. And I'm looking for them. I know, like, I need to apply. So I need to work with people that can tell me how to structure my business so I can receive, because it don't make no sense. Like, that money is there and people are getting, a lot of Black businesses that have their shit together they're getting that money. I know.
Yes, they are.
In my own family and friends in business, they're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what I would rather discuss.
Well, we're going to have to get into that too as well. But overall, when we're looking at, like, what I think Yashika, and I think that article is talking about, when Yashika has said about how you're seeing, based off the freedmen situation, and that there was money being allocated, and that money that's been allocated, and we were talking about, like, how you brought up your school, that when you was in college in the middle of Georgia, and how these people had a foreigner running your situation. There's a foreigner running what we call today that same thing that Yashika brought up. So I know I went out for a minute. Like, so when y'all read through that whole thing, I want to ask each of y'all, before I pull up this next question, I want to ask y'all with an article as well. I want y'all opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? But I would just want to ask, I'm going to go, matter of fact, with Rhonda, how do you look at, particularly, because I did miss something things I went out. I thank y'all for reading through it yourselves. How do you see that with the fact that they have a freedman situation? They got a man running something that historically belongs to people in our ancestry.
Well, like I said, and you probably went out, it's the same playbook that they used right after the Civil War when the original Freedmen Bureau was set up. It's no different. Only difference is now they're literally putting an African face on it. So the people back then, after the Civil War, that were supposed to benefit from the Freedmen's Bureau did not benefit from it. It was other people, meaning the elite. Right. It is important that we know who is whom, so you don't get suckered again. And they issued it out to whom they wanted to issue it out. Now, I totally agree that we should know how to apply for it and get it, but we also need to be savvy enough to understand the true history and understand what happened in the past. Because, to be honest, they're not giving you anything. If you are indigenous to this land and your family's heritage in land has been taken from you, you have not been benefiting from the colonization rule. So even the notion of this money and they're giving you is a false concept. Okay, so I think we should be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We should be able to understand the true history and also go after the money and hold them accountable. Hold them accountable for the okie doke. So that's my 2 cents.
Now, I feel what you're saying, Miss Rhonda. I feel you. Matter of fact, I'm going to go up. So, Tamika, how do you feel about that? And then I'm going to come across and I'm going to go back to Lila. Tamika, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about it?
I agree with what Rhonda just said, you know, because it's the truth of it all. You know, I've been in this game for a minute and I've been watching it, you know, and I just looked at some grants. A lot of times these big money grants, they're awarded to the state and to the county governments. And then they allocate the funds to who they want to allocate them to. So if you're not rubbing them shoulders with those people who are sitting in those high places, you're not going to get a piece of that pot. So it's all about politicking at the end of the day. That's why folks start organizations and they get out here and they want to meet the senators. They want to meet the House of Representatives. You have to get, if that's indeed what you want to do, you're going to have to get with these local politicians. And you're also going to have to get with your county government officials. You're going to have to come with a plan, some kind of plan that correlates with what you want to do. What do you want to restore wildlife? Do you want to clean the oceans? Like it's gotta be a specific plan. It can't just be, I'm coming in here for the bag, give me the bag. Because they're gonna look at you like, next.
Right.
You gotta have a certified strategic marketing plan, a certified strategic business plan with projections and with forecasts, a budget, all of those things, right? And that's the work that has to be put in. And I always tell people, if you don't know something, Google it. There's so many things, so many resources, free resources that are online. And don't just take the first one that you pick and read it, but go through a few of them. So like if you Google business plan, look at a few different websites that are talking about business plans, you know, and kind of see, okay, I'm gonna pick from this one, pick from that one, put it all together. But they're not gonna just give the bag because you're owed something. They're going to give it to businesses and organizations that have a plan in place with proper documents. And even when you're applying for a grant, they're asking you for the same things.
Facts.
This is the thing where we can't just, we have to follow those who came before, who have already successful with the business. We don't have to we have to make sure we're bridging the gap. That's what I mean by if we already have a successful business, that is where this is where we fall short and other ethnicities prosper. Okay? Because they literally bring people over, show them the game, let them live with them for a whole year to save money to start their business. They already have the game. So the problem is we're not necessarily showing other Black Americans the game when it comes to running a business plan, what exactly to do. Is too many Black Americans who continue to have to restart everything by themselves. That's a problem because other ethnicities aren't doing this. And when it comes to this guy, this secretary, this elite guy, these Nigerians, they're giving each other the play. They literally take each other's certifications for them for these IT classes.
I want to ask you something, Ashika. I want to ask you something. In your own family, this could be distant cousins, whatever. Don't you have hard-headed ass cousins that no matter what you say to them, it's just like it goes in one ear out the other and they do not listen?
Yeah, but then you just move on. Like if they don't want to,
that is how I look at the situation with our people. Let me
say this to you. It still just depends on the circle. Because then I have a whole nother group of Black people, my Howard people. We are in line. We are in unison. We work together. We secure whatever needs to be secured. We have the network. So it's not to get hung up on the people who are not, because you have to understand, some of our people are in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you're not thinking creativity. When you're too busy trying to figure out who's going to watch the kids while you go to work or work your 2 jobs or pay for this or blah, 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 you might not have the luxury of resting your brain to find your creative niche, to figure out how you can experiment to possibly make some type of residual income. You're not thinking like that. Some people can, but some people are not. So those people, you know, you can just give them certain things, and then move on. But the fact of the matter is, we all should be in some level of helping our people. And that's the one thing that we don't do. We help everybody else but our people. So when I hear stuff like anti-Black, No, black people, black Americans are anti-family. They over there trying to help everybody else out.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
And that's why I said specifically family members, because that's really what it's about. We're supposed to be helping our family members, because if you have a strong family, strong families make strong communities. And so we have to focus on the family. And a lot of our families are just completely out of order, which is why we have all this chaos going on. Let's just be honest.
But see, a lot of this chaos.
Hey, we start running like a village. We start running like a village.
Yeah, we're
we start running like a village. You say, you know, go ahead. I'm bad.
I was going to say a lot of this chaos is going on because of the secrets of our identity. Okay, there's a lot of secrets there. There's a lot of generational issues there because something happened or somebody made a bad deal, okay, or a bad contract, or they decided to migrate and they decided to sell grandma's house or grandma's land.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now they have migrated somewhere else, and now they're renting an apartment. And now the families don't talk because they were all on the wheel, but one person decided to sell.
Made that decision.
There's a lot of issues.
Yes, that's what I'm speaking about specifically, sis. Thank you for clarifying what I was. Yes, that's the space I'm coming from. We got to do better.
Yeah,
we really do.
Better for sure. And there's a lot of healing that people have to do with their own families.
Yes,
there's family members that just don't communicate. There's sisters and brothers that don't communicate, cousins that don't communicate, and we're not even touched on like the issues we have as we tapped into Christianity. They got Christianity.
Matter of fact, stop. Hold on, wait, Yashika. Wait a second. No.
Get him, Yashika. Get him now.
I'm going on mute.
I know.
Slow down. Wait a second. Wait. Hold on. Wait a second. So, Yashika about to go in. You see that, right, y'all? She was about to go in. So now, for real talk though, because I got to cover some things with y'all while I got y'all on here, because I see this could go a whole nother time frame here, because that Christianity gonna lead to manumission. And Yashika, I've had that conversation with I think everybody on this part on this platform on Clubhouse with sources and all. So we got to understand the system that has impacted cause and effect of what we're in now. And even though it's evolved and we have way more freedoms than what our ancestors went through with the discriminations and black codes and Nora codes and all the different Jim Crow laws and all the stuff they did, we are now obviously have the freedom to talk like how we're doing now about what happened to us and get an understanding of what took place to our ancestors and how we were disenfranchised and now redlined, as some people like to call it. All these different terms that we have found out now that's kept us back. You know what I mean? Even though we were still limited, it still pushed us back from being even at the height of what we could be. So now I want to ask y'all, Kanye West, can you put an article where he went in on something? I don't know anybody, has any of y'all ladies seen what Kanye West said recently on his article that's on Rolling Stones? There's a video out, and it's Kanye West declares America is made to enslave us in a plea for Black Future Month. He wants to change it from Black History Month to Black Future Month. If you get, I don't think we got the video to pull up right now or nothing, but if you watch certain clips, I mean, Lila, I don't know, you'd be into the, have you seen the video, Lila? I'm gonna start with you with this, because are you, I know you out there in California.
I'm aware of Kanye's campaign to change it from Black, History Month to Black Futures Month. I like the futures. I think he's being counterproductive by then calling us Black, but again, he's maybe trying to lead people a certain way. Kanye is capitalist, but I also see him moving a little bit to more socialism. I don't think Kanye's really thought, some things that he wants to do. I don't think it's well thought out, but I know he puts his ideas out there into the public. I love this idea of a Black Futures Month, for whatever reason. And no, the United States is not designed to enslave us. Okay, it's not. It's just, I think there's so many things are just misconstrued. And I think, like Ashika was saying, that's part of the identity as well. The United States is a corporation. This is all about labor. You cannot turn capitalism into something that's beneficial. It was literally birthed on enslaving people and benefiting from their oppression. But that's not what it's designed to do. I think we've let this monster the United States. I think we let it balloon and blossom, and it's got all this power, but at the same time, it's just like sometimes to me, it's not real. It's a system that if I want to play in it, I can, but I really don't have to. I think we have to admit that we enjoy certain luxuries of this system, and our ancestors did that for us. There's no place in the world like this area we call the United States. And so I really have to reckon with a lot of things. Y'all were talking about the family, like a lot of people need to, like, we can't, how can we go to Black Future when people still just not really knowing their past? Like, people are still holding on to false narratives. So when you get your own family here, we have been taught the same tokens in history. So I can understand why he would be like, man, stop giving me this Harriet Tubman. Her name was Araminta Ross. Like, move forward. She ain't have no descendants. Move on. But the other people that she rescued, they have a story to tell. Why don't we talk about them? Why don't we talk to her grandnieces? Because her sibling or whoever else in her family had kids. They're still around. So all of these stories we hear, it just all reminds me of Bruce's Beach. Yes, it was terrorism. Like, we had this terrorism of a corporation come in and create these heinous laws that were just had no logic or reason. And then all of a sudden it was like, so I'm like, but we built this system. We fought for this system. And I'm really having a hard time just really believing that my ancestors built something that would harm me. That's a healing that I think it's just a magnitude. It's a lot. So I listen to these stories and I can't blame them. I really do have to say they do what I allow. And so every day I talk to our brothers and sisters about this capitalism system. They don't care. So maybe that's an ancestral bind that they are just gonna forever be, bound to. Like, as long as you're trying to benefit in capitalism, you're somewhere, somebody is enslaved. It might be a little Cambodian child this time. It may be a little African child looking for cobalt. So no, these Africans are going to come over here and they're going to get what they think is theirs. Like, they are doing what they're supposed to do. We're not doing our part. We're just not.
Stop it right there. Stop it right there.
Colonizers like, why do you want us dead?
I gotta agree with Lila. I gotta agree with Lila.
Listen, she's right. That's why I said stop it right there. When she said they are doing what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's us that's not doing what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was like something that needed to stand out, and I want to I want to sway to. I'm gonna say Tamika when she said that, because I want to add everybody in my time frame. I got about like 15 minutes, and I thank everybody for joining us tonight before we go back into our mix. Shout out to Blaze. So I want to make sure I cover these couple things. So I want to get everybody in. So Tamika, how do you feel about that Kanye West Black Future thing, and what she said about how the future is kind of thrown off because people are coming to this country trying to look to their future off of things that we built, but we are now in a situation where we're not doing what we're supposed to do to take advantage of our future of things that we literally, our ancestors built. However the circumstances, admixtures, indigenous, some foreign mixtures, whatever. Look at us now. What is the result in our ethnogenesis of who we are today and how we self-identify today in our future, knowing our history? Like, Tamika, I'm gonna ask you that.
So self-esteem is not a group thing. It's a self thing. And when you build up your self-esteem and you feel and know and you project yourself from where you are into the future, it doesn't matter what anybody else back there is doing. And it took me time, a lot of studying and a lot of work on self to get to that point. So as we're going through this information, that song by Tupac, Looking at the World Through My Rear View, while I'm rolling in my Tesla, that's how I live my life right now, because I can't put the team on my back. Like what's his name from the foot? What's the bro name? Put the team on my back though. Like, I'm not putting the team on my back because I did that and they broke my knees. I can't do that anymore. The only team going on my back is the ones that sleep in this house under this roof. So
Family
I feel
first.
what y'all saying, but at the same
What's up?
time, self-preservation is law.
Law.
Yeah, that's
facts.
that's for self-preservation. I just wanted to agree.
So when you sit in the space, and you try to help people and they don't recognize that the help that you're bringing at that moment, the free help on top of it. Say what you got to say and then let them be. But they're going to have to do their genealogy. They're going to have to go talk to their grandmas. They're going to have to go eat that cornbread and then beans and get out of that McDonald's before they can even grasp what we're even saying.
Now hold on, wait a second. Stop right there, Tamika. I'm gonna let you stop. Y'all throwing alley-oops to each other. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw that alley-oop to what you just said straight to Yashika, and then I'm gonna come down to Miss Rhonda to end off this conversation of these things I got questioned off. So off what she just said, Yashika, and how our people today are not doing a genealogy and not like they're shunning it and going with the narrative of the system that we've been like schooled in. But when you have these books and documentations that are coming from the academic same schools that we went to, you can find these books in. So how do you feel about that whole situation of what she just said in that alley-oop of that? How you feel about it?
So we suffer from what there's something called Winnie the Pooh syndrome, or Winnie the Mouse syndrome, not Pooh. And so Winnie the Mouse syndrome is they took this mouse, put her in a maze, and every time she tried to get to the exit, they would electrocute her. So each time she kept trying to get to the exit, they would continue to electrocute her. After 20, 30 times, Winnie the Mouse stopped going towards the exit because they knew that she knew she was going to get electrocuted. To the point where they took the electricity out of the exit. She still would not go to the exit because in her memory, that exit meant electrocution. Black Americans are suffering from that. They cannot get themselves out at this point, okay? No matter what has been put in front of them. You can't be entitled and be at war at the same time. You can't do both. You have to pick a struggle. If you're being oppressed and you're at war, right? Everything about your actions need to reflect that you're at war. Not that you can't be entitled. And so what these other ethnicities have over us is they're fleeing from these third world countries that don't even have pipes. They have electric grids. You know, they got generators. They don't even have basic functioning, right? Third world countries. They know they're at war. And every day they show up over here at war. They show up not entitled. They show up knowing, hey, this is what happened in my country. This is why I had to come over to this country. I'm going to hold on and take advantage of any and everything. And they have their ladder of pulling each other up based on that same fact. So Black Americans, this Winnie the Mouse syndrome, you can put everything at their feet and they can't go to the exit. They won't go to the exit. You know, so that's why this becomes a very personal thing. Like I said, white supremacy is now an excuse. It's an excuse at this point. Okay. We're going to blame the white man so we don't have to do anything. But at the same time, we're going to attack the woman if they're not strong.
Ciao.
So the white man, the problem, but the Black woman, if she ain't strong, she's a problem. So if the Black woman has to be strong and the white man is keeping you oppressed, what's the job of the Black man? Help me understand.
And it's not to cry and complain no more.
I'm trying to be clean on this brother's program.
And I ain't talking about,
Rhonda, listen here. It's tomorrow it's y'all night. It's y'all night. I'm not gonna get caught up. I'm gonna bring y'all back on. We're gonna talk about it. I really No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because as a male, and I understand the plight. You know what I mean? I got a sister. My sister came on this platform tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't shun from none of that. I got a daughter. You know what I mean? I got a wife. You feel me? I don't got a front. I'm good. So talk shit. It's
We're not talking about you, brother.
Yeah, because we know you get it.
We're just talking about.
I get it. I'm not even caught up on all that. Because like I said, I got it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? My grandmas. I got my I had some grandfathers, and I ain't scared to say it on this platform that wasn't the best of peoples. You see what I'm saying?
And this isn't even a gender.
And that's this, you know what I mean? Reality.
This isn't even a gender situation. This is just more so about, do we really know our roles and what we're all
exactly
supposed to do?
The structure of the family.
While we're at war, do we know our roles while we're at war?
Exactly.
We don't know our roles.
But no, but Yashika, do people know that they are at war?
Oh, they know when they're at
types
war.
of war. No, our people are in an illusionist state in my mind frame because see, they think war is like them because black folk are in the army, they're in the navy, you know what I mean? Like Juvenile say, you feel me? We no limit soldiers out here. We in all the goddamn different groups of this system. You know what I mean? Fighting for this country. And my father, my grandfather, you know what I mean? I got that. I understand that. Great grandfathers like fighting World War I's and shit. So at the end of the day, I look at all this situation. We think in the comfort of we being United States citizens that because our people that look like us are going out there fighting in these wars, that there's not a war going on still here in our social world through all the things that we've been discriminated against, disenfranchised from, redlined from a land standpoint, from an economic standpoint, from an educational standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like they're hitting us in so many levels from a war standpoint. I mean, that a lot of people, if they're not conscious of all those things, they're lost in the sauce. They're just thinking, oh, people, American pride. Our people went through some shit, and they still thinking that they came on a ship from Africa, and they're proud to be in America, in the best country in the world. In some people's cases, am I lying? Anybody?
I agree, and like I said, you'll hear people say, the nuclear family is anti-black. No,
wow.
The U.S. corporation is anti anything but money. So
exactly,
you have to know for yourself. You have to know for your family that in order for you to be successful and keep your family together, you're going to have a strategy for home.
And that's the secret. And I won't even say secret. Let's just keep it all the way real. And excellent job, ladies. Y'all all laid it out. I was in the amen section in the back. Y'all all laid it out.
Church.
Yes, y'all did. I mean, but let's just keep it all the way real. The elephant in the room in the Black community with the tutu on is our family structure is basically non-existent. The Black woman is carrying it on her back. It's acceptable in the Black community to have high single mother households. It's acceptable for Black fathers not to be active participant in their children's lives. It is acceptable for Black men to earn far less than Black women. So I'm not here to play with people. I'm not here to coddle people. Either you're going to get up off your behind and take accountability and responsibility for self and your family, or you're BSing yourself. See, you can lie to yourself, but you ain't finna sit up in my face and lie to me. And when I ask simple questions to people about what your family doing, how your children doing, I get crickets and shame starts to kick in. And some people have the audacity to admit to me, oh yeah, I do have a bunch of children, and I haven't been the best. Well, we don't have nothing to talk about. Nothing that you can say or do, no type of knowledge, no type of wokeism you can give me. You have nothing to say to me because you care nothing about your family, your legacy, and self. We will never get out of the conditions if you can't put self and family first. So that's
Rhonda, I always tell people, if you want to see the state of the Black family, go to the zoo.
Ooh,
If you go to the zoo, you will see every ethnicity there with the grandparents and children and mama and brother and auntie, and they're taking a family trip to the zoo. When you go there and you see black families, you see the black daycare with the kids on the chain, okay? Or you might see some single mothers there, or you might see a little young boyfriend and girlfriend there, but you do not see the nuclear family at the zoo. You don't see them.
It's sad.
All right,
And
so
I
this
come from. Oh, go ahead, Brother Mac.
I know because I gotta pose one more question to y'all. I got 10 minutes. I want to give each of y'all 3 minutes of our last before we go back into the mix. You know what I mean? I want to get there. I thank each one of y'all for coming on to this, pulling up on me tonight. You know what I mean? With everything going on with in Valentine's, Super Bowl, to have this conversation with us as the Autonomous Party. Shout out to our social club, and a shout out to what we do on Clubhouse. Y'all all, most of you have met me on Clubhouse in real time. You know what I mean? I don't shy away from these conversations, from sources that need to be given, and it is what it is. I try to stay focused though with the group of people that we have focused on trying to get some of these things done, and the things that we're talking about right now, from a social level to a political level to an economic level to a cultural level. So we're in an ethnogenesis period, I feel. And Rhonda, I want to start with you first, because your last show that I told you how I, like, literally is one of the first shows I listened to you. You know what I mean? I might have heard of you, but that show someone told me to listen to, and that show was powerful. I'm going to just give you a shout out again for anybody. Rhonda Johnson on YouTube. Can you give your YouTube page one more time? And before I ask you the question.
Sure. Thanks, brother. It's called Truth Uncompromised. I'll drop it in the YouTube chat because it's spelled a little differently. So yeah, thanks for that, brother.
No, listen, this is about educating and enlightening our people. I do a show one Sunday. I'm not on YouTube every day of the week. We just happen to be live because we're live. Shout out to Music Media Lounge. We do this every Sunday live in the studio, and we do it for a local area. We do it on our Mixcloud. We do it on YouTube now, and we're just spreading this information, and we're meeting people and networking with people in real time, and we bring them on our platform so we can spread this information out, and I was recorded so we have it timed in history. It's like a time capsule.
Yes,
so
that's what's up.
That's what this is about, and it's about making sure that other platforms is giving out the right information. And that can help our people get out of what we're going through in this conversation I had with y'all ladies tonight. It spreads. So the more the merrier, in my mind. I'm not, against that. I want to see everybody in our network, shout out to Aboriginal Wall Street, our mentality, have their businesses set up, have their land. You know what I mean? If you don't have land and you can't get it through a patent, shout out to Mika, I'm about to bring you back on that patent, because tonight we had a great conversation. I'm going to bring you back about that on our show for that right there in particular. But, and all of y'all, I'm going to bring you back. If you were welcome to come back, I will bring you back. So real quick, though, so Rhonda Johnson, on your platform again, you obviously understand that the indigenous connection to America.
Yes.
Am I right about that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so with your understanding of our indigenous connection to America and how we've been discriminated against with that, and the last show you had going out dealing with trust, right? And they were dealing with a certain type of trust. Rhonda Johnson, y'all was heavy on that show.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy.
I can't even go into it right now like I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't even got the time. But because of how I want to just expose that so that people can go tap into you and your YouTube page in particular, because of the information I've seen you are dropping. I'm acknowledging that. And as a matriarch, putting out this kind of information, you got to get that shout out. So this ethnogenesis, and that ethnogenesis is we're in the coming of self-identifying who we are in this 21st century. How do you see us changing based off what you've learned so far and what you've been putting out?
Well, the foundation, of course, is, and all of these ladies have mentioned it, and shout out to them, because it's rare that you hear people say that, what I'm about to say. And when I hear them say this, I know that they know the deal and they know what they're talking about. You have to start with your genealogy family. You have to start with digging in. First of all, go talk to Big Mama and Papa if they still around. Talk to your parents. And then get into those public records and start tracing your lineage back, because what you're going to find in those records is going to be very, very powerful, and it's going to free you. It's going to free you and your family lineage from the label of being a slave. It's going to free you. So without knowing who you are, anybody could come and tell you anything. So I definitely say that that is the foundation, and along with getting your family's house in order regarding having a strong family structure, and that requires everything that we talked about. It requires economics, it requires being self-sufficient, it requires active parents being healthy to raise their children. It requires monitoring what our children are educating and making sure our children have the proper information. So we have to go back to basics. That's the core of what I'm trying to get across. So, but thank you again, brother, and thank you to the ladies. You women did a wonderful job, and I was really honored to share some knowledge with you ladies tonight.
Likewise.
Yes, Miss Rhonda. So before I move on, I want you to come back on the show. Let you know, Miss Rhonda, we're gonna have another conversation.
Sure, anytime.
Shout out to Mika for introducing us. Thank you very much. Now I'm gonna go on to Yashika. You know what I mean? Yashika, and then I'm gonna go Lila, then I'm gonna end with Tamika. Yashika, so with the ethnogenesis in this conversation, because this is a series, I did label it that way, and in your perspective of what you've learned and what you've been pushing and what you see going on, and you see the impact of this conversation that we're having now, how do you see, and I'm asking you particularly this, from a female standpoint, from a matriarchal standpoint, how do you see the ethnogenesis of us impacting this information that we can give to our people going into the political election? What you know?
I see us doing really well, honestly, because we manifested everything for everybody else. We manifested the African Wakanda. We manifested, it being cool to be African. We manifested the colored and we are one, and black and brown people and the civil rights. We manifested all of that. So all we have to do now is manifest this for ourselves. Self-preservation, speak loud, not be cowardice. And there's a lot of us who are speaking up, but we're going to have to continue to have these conversations on all platforms. Like I said, right now I'm with you right now, but I've been in this room all day reaching all these people. You see all these people here?
I already know.
So this is 24/7. It's on this space, in Twitter spaces, when I'm in my network for Howard people, I'm constantly having to help people with just on my phone. Like, it's 24/7. This is something where we have to continue to manifest this reality of who we are. It's no longer okay to, have all these other subtitles. The truth is the truth is the truth. You can't say, okay, I'm American to this point, but I can't speak about before. I gotta just deal with this little box. No, we gotta stand up. That's the only way, is to stand up. Because right now we have the rights of Indigenous people. We have the right to identify. They've already did the last play. They've already done the last play. The last play is all these damn Africans, okay? That's the last play. So at this point, we gotta survive. And we got to survive by honoring the ancestors. We got to survive by getting in line. There's no way that everyone else on this planet has an identity, but we're just black. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? So I'm confident that we can call on our ancestors and we can continue to do what we've done for the whole world. We can do for ourselves.
That's a fact.
But we can't do it silently. We got to scream it from the mountaintops. We got to continue to say who we are, stand in it. Because when you don't stand in it and you take on all these other fake identities, that's when everyone else wants to come and be in your identity too. Because they say, well, you can't sit there and say, oh, They stole our music. They stole our food. They stole our culture. They stole our ebonics, our, whatever. You can't talk about what they stole, but you won't stand up and say who you are and who it belongs to.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, I got time, Yashika. I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to bring you back on the show. We're going to talk about this again as well. Thank you for coming on tonight and spending your time. I appreciate your time. Lila, like I said, I'm in it with Tamika.
Yeah,
Lila.
sure. When it comes to ethnogenesis, I kind of like the word renaissance as well. I think, for us to know our destiny, to know our life purpose, to really understand our duty, it's like everyone was saying, is to know your lineage. And you could be connecting the dots for something that's, it's just meant to be. I'll use an example real quick. I met the owner of Crown and Hops. This is a Black-owned beer company, brewery. He has big visions and dreams. Well, he did his genealogy, and he learned that his great-great-grandmother was a brewer. She was in the business of, making beer. Same thing with Uncle Nearest. It's like just kind of in them. We have to dig back to where we're from. We've been taught to that America is so bad, and this landmass, this continent, it's not a person. It didn't do anything to us. It's this corporation that has inflicted terrorism. So for me, that means understanding where I come from, where I was born, because wherever my parents are from, I know I was born on this continent. So I have respect. I know everything as much as I can about where I come from as a whole, and understand what my people were going through in certain areas of the country, whether it was in Arkansas. How did they get from Louisiana to Kansas City? Like how did my family get to Texas? Why did my family go from Mississippi to Georgia? I thought everybody moved west. So when you understand who your family is, I think that will help you understand a little bit more about your life purpose. But I just invite people to continue to do the deep searching, learning about what your family, continuing this legacy. And I wanted to bring up this guy. I mean, when you're saying honor your ancestors, his name is George Washington Williams. And I just real quick, our people were excluded from these American historical associations that they were creating at one point. And so this brother, George Washington Williams, he broke through. But all the so-called black scholars at that time was like, why even bother? So he did what he had to do. He broke through. But I'm still interested in those black scholars. I really want to connect with people who were documenting in truth what was happening to us. I want to hear more from them. And most times I'm pleasantly surprised because they have a firm grasp on the issues, but they also create these alternative paths that we don't have to accept this garbage. We can't create our own silos. We can't create our own so-called Black Wall Street. So I just invite people to just really dig in and then get to know, like, if you are prone or you just have an affinity for some type of, profession or industry, like, continue the works of somebody that maybe broke some barriers and for their time, and maybe the work is still left undone. I think we can finish the legacy from there. That's how I want to. I guess that's how I would approach going into the future.
I appreciate that. Like I said, that's why I put that in there. Tamika, thank you again for joining us tonight. Tamika, I'm in and off with you at the end. You know what I mean? So, how do you feel about? I got a double question for you, because again, you did with real estate and land patents. And I told you I'm gonna come back to you, so I ain't forget. You see, I ain't forget. So my first question for the ethnogenesis question, that's gonna be my last part for you. But dealing with the land patent, I want to ask you real quick. Mm-hmm. When we first met each other on Clubhouse, and there was a lot of talk about the land patent thing, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people were, making the rooms. I listened. I sat back and listened. I heard a lot of different stories. And right now, we've heard so many different situations about people with the land patent. And being that you are a real estate agent.
In real life.
And in real life, you know what I mean? My wife's a real estate agent too, so I just be
in real life. Respect to the wifey.
Right, like in real life. You know what I mean? Decades into it. Title companies, I know Shout out to my people. Black-owned title companies down here in South Florida in real life. So I'm
Right.
trying to figure out if you was even to go from a patent, going to getting the patent and the steps that it takes to rectify the paperwork, showing that your people, and then the forensic, you see how I said the word, forensic analysis that would have to take place to trace back the fraudulent steps that goes back to how that ancestor was to lose that land if they didn't sell it or that didn't even take place. How does that work? Can you give me that answer first real quick? I want to leave with you real quick. I'm sorry.
It's a lengthy process. It does cost money. You're not going to put something on the record and you're done. That doesn't work that way.
Right.
You're not going to be able to collect taxes off of it. That's another myth that's flowing out here, without something coming from the courts, from the probate courts. You're going to have an attorney who specializes in this, and there are some out there. Now, from my studies, land patents were issued by the United States president. Before then, they were issued by foreign entities. They were issued by Spain and France. So all of this shit is fraud. Excuse my language, but it's all fraudulent. When you're talking about American Indian Indigenous people on this land, that was not our process. It wasn't no American Indian woman issuing those patents. Now, if you want to look at the Great Law of Peace, and it tells you in the Great Law of Peace how land was to be passed, it wasn't passed that way. It wasn't the Indian way. It was not the indigenous way of the American Indians here on Turtle Island as far as what they did. Let's get that straight. There's another.
Wait a second. Wait, I gotta stop. Hold on. Wait, Tamika. Wait a minute. I gotta say something though. Inclusively, because you said Turtle Island, and then you said the Great Law of Peace, dealing with the Wapanon Belt. So I'm gonna throw this in there just because you brought that up. It triggered me. I get triggered off these kind of things. William Penn and the person that was in the gangs of war, gangs in New York, right, God? They show him in the Gangs in New York movie, the St. Tammany, right? The St. Tammany joint. All right, so St. Tammany, but he's a Chief Tammany. Chief Tammany of the Turtle Clan of the Lenape is the one underneath an elm tree that is dealing with William Penn, who peoples, meaning his like grandfather, right? Or his father. God, is it his father? Who got the grant, and William Penn got the grant from his peoples? His father was old. Let's get into the story real quick, right? I'll do it another time. I can do this like I'm trying to do it fast. But either way, William Penn and Tammany underneath a tree they call elm tree in what we call today Philadelphia, Sakahetum would be the other term they were pronouncing in indigenous terms. Underneath the Turtle Clan of Lenape, who he represented, signed this treaty, which he got from a grant coming from his people who were fighting for some Europeans, as we were just saying before, you know what I'm saying? And that Great Law of Peace was combined with this people to become what became the Continental Congresses and all these groups of people mixed in all, and that under this system borrowed from that Lenape Great Law of Peace, the Wampum Belt. But either way, I want to just add that in there. I'm gonna let you keep going.
I appreciate that. I ain't know that. You're teaching me something.
Yeah,
I'm learning over here now. I should have wrote that down. But
no,
yes,
I'm that's easy though. That's source. I'm gonna source you out. I'm gonna give you that to you. It's no problem.
But the point I want to make with this is, there's a lot of people who, pass information and they're not studied completely. And that's why I exist in these spaces, because I'm tired of people getting misinformation, getting misguided and misled, and they're wasting their time when they could be starting their business
and money.
Facts.
So let's just be honest. If the United States of America, if the United States president, I don't want to say of America, let's just say if the United States president signed off on those land patents, doesn't he also have the authority to change the rules? Okay. He does, right?
That's a fact.
Oh, so then they can also create treaties and push the people off the land too, right? Because that's what happened.
Facts.
And then they also created organizations like the National Association of Realtors to govern the rules and regulations of land transactions.
Mm-hmm. There's always a system, right? Though, right? Because you're in real estate. That's why I asked you. I had left you last for this purpose. Because you're in real estate, dealing with this conversation of how people have lost their land and who gave out patents and this admixture thing. It's something that I want to bring you back on, along with Rhonda Johnson, Yashika, and Lila, to have more of a conversation with these things. I really want to keep going, if y'all don't mind. On another time.
Just to add fuel to that fire, allodial titles is a concept that came from Europe.
Say it again.
That part.
So when you factor in feudalism as well, I mean, this whole idea about land allotments, because that's like a form of reparations too. Wouldn't that come from a vassal system? Is that where the whole idea of patents come from?
Yeah, manumission.
Like the monarch would hand out patents, like land allotments.
So my thing is, Lady Leela, I'm not against anybody who wants to go to the system and get
like a hype man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a whole bunch of organizations. The Bureau of Land Management is one of them, and you can go directly to the Bureau of Land Management, and there's an actual person who covers the territory that you're in. So you find out who that person is. They have an email and a phone number listed on their website. Contact them. Tell them what your issue is, and then you also have the USDA. You have HUD, which used to be Public Indian Housing. Before they changed their name. It's still actually known as Public Indian Housing. So you have to contact these agencies and find someone who's willing to listen and willing to work with you. Or you can go the way most Americans is going nowadays, and they just say, screw it, I'll just buy the shit. Give me my title.
Word. Look, I'm gone over. See, I can keep talking to y'all, but I got to get out of here. Blaze, man. Blaze, he up next. Thank y'all, for joining us tonight for this conversation. Shout out to the matriarch. And each one of y'all, keep doing what you're doing. And that's another reason why I wanted each one of y'all for pulling up for us tonight. Because I see what y'all doing. You know what I mean? Don't let these people stress y'all out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to say to you on that level. You got to know when to, you know what I mean? Like I said on here now, you know your value, you know what you're doing. And you know what you're doing, you got to just, you know what I mean? And be open-minded to the people that's working with you. You know what I'm saying? Two, know your allies. Know your people that's willing to share their platform, to spread your platform. That's how you know it's really being a network. I'm telling you that from a real standpoint. Because at the end of the day, everybody here got to be able to plug what you're doing. And that's the whole point of us networking. If we're not doing that, then we're not really networking for all of us to benefit, for us to grow our estates and wills and trust and learn about financial literacy and the politics and the laws of the land and our genealogies and stuff. We don't share it, then we gatekeep it. When it comes to these type of things, I ain't asking you to give your ingredients out on your chicken or your whatever you're doing to make money or your patent. You know what I'm saying? So no, real talk though. Again, I thank all y'all ladies for joining us. Can you pull me up real quick so I can show this before we get out of here? Blaze, get out of here, man. Thank y'all ladies again. Yashika, Lila, Miss Rhonda Johnson, Tamika.
Thank you, family.
Thank you. Next week, we do got Lee Cummins.
That's my dude. That's my dude.
Yeah, we're going to be on the show next week. We're going over this book.
My book is in the other room.
That's a collector's item, fam. Everybody should have a couple of his books.
All right. So me and Clem has been talking. It's a lot of smoke going on in DOF 22. I'm telling y'all, I ain't playing. Me and Lee Cummins, and shout out to Tavis Sanders. I'm not really I'm trying to tell y'all on the low, we do a podcast. We only do it once a Sunday, but we've been networking. We really talk to people. We're really out here doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? We got these books. We network with people, programs, school, you know what I mean? Books and everything going out with it and everything. Certificates, ID. We ain't playing. Benefits and all. I ain't playing. Look, though, next week, Nego Questions Part 6. If you got this book, the 13 black colonies. Lee Cummings has already told me once or twice or 3 times. Anybody that wants smoke, they can come get it. At the same time, though, he's going to sit on this show next week Sunday, particularly because it's Black History Month. We're going to go over this.
Child, they don't
in
want
detail.
that smoke with them, but
But
okay.
in detail.
Because
All
his
right,
references check out.
Oh
They
no,
don't want-
he's highly credible. It should
exactly.
be all love.
I checked his
All right.
references personally. They don't want that
All right.
smoke.
I really want. I'm letting y'all know. I'm just putting that out there because some people be fronting. I don't be fronting. See, I literally just got off the phone with this man not even 24 hours ago. Yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't even been 24 hours. Listen, the smoke. He picked this out. He picked this book out. He said, Matt, let's do this. So guess what? We're doing this. So next week, join us. Blaze, thank y'all for joining us at Thomas Party each and every Sunday, 8 to 11 o'clock. Blaze, 8 to 9 o'clock with the mix campaign to get us warmed up. But I'm trying to tell you, 9 o'clock next week, Lee Cummings is coming, and he ain't playing. No pun intended. Pull up. Tap in with us. Peace and love, y'all.
Yeah, you listening to Super Plays. Let's go.
Bang, 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 bang.